We are just barely getting started here, and we're going to be answering questions about autism. We're going to talk about autism. If you have autism, if you have a child with autism, if you're just interested in learning about autism, you are in the right place. You are in the right place. Now, it usually takes us just a moment to get started here, but please come on in. We're going to be talking about autism. Tell me, as you come in, let me know where you're from. Where are you coming in from? Where are you from? I live in Utah. What state or what country are you guys in? Boom, Mia, I see you guys. Come on in, and where are you at? Where are you guys from? Where do you live? Do you have a kid with autism? Let me know. Where are you guys from? I am just getting things started here. So we go live every day for a couple of hours. Thank you for tapping on that screen. It gets us going here pretty quickly. Getting those likes coming in. All right, we got some people in here, you guys. If you are in here, tell me, where are you from? Put it in the chat, you guys. Where are you from? Where are the listeners from? I live in Utah, and I go live every day for a couple hours. So, some things that we end up doing, you guys, is I got some autism news that I go over every day, but I don't go over that until we get to 20,000 likes. We usually get, 1 to 200 people in here, sometimes more, depending on the day, you guys. Welcome in Mia, welcome in Manel, welcome in Timmy, welcome in Munkle. Good to see you guys. Where are you guys from? Where are you from? Let me know. Put the state in the chat, you guys. Either the state or the country. Put it in the chat. Hey, Autumn. Good to see you. Where are you from, Autumn? Wisconsin, you guys. Autumn's from Wisconsin. The rest of you just coming in, let us know in the chat where you're from. Hey, Love God. Good to see you. Good to see you. Come on in, you guys. Malta, sorry night. That's amazing. Elytra is from California. Sarah from Tennessee. Kate from Ghana. Love it. Ubax is from London. Love that. Love that cat. Oh my gosh. Meg, your 3.5-year-old son is autistic. My 3.5-year-old son is autistic. I love that. Oh my gosh. Melissa from Kentucky. Good to see you, Melissa. Good to have you on here. AB, I'm not quite sure. Are you saying your child was born at 26 weeks? Is that what you're saying? Oh, Miss Princess, your 4-year-old was just diagnosed. I love it. Meg, awesome. Yeah, I love that. Love that your son is the same age as mine. Kat says, one of my students who turned 4 recently started to talk. All right, you guys, as you're coming in, go ahead and be tapping that screen. I go live every day. What we end up doing here is I'm going to be answering any questions you guys have about autism. And once we get to 20,000 likes, it doesn't take long. Probably about 15, 20 minutes if we're tapping. Then I'll get into the daily breaking autism news, you guys. All right. Welcome in, Lexi. Good to see you, Lexi. My daughter is 8 years old, and all her life, she speaks 3 times. Only she can say her name. Daniel, I'm sorry. I'm right there with you. Is there hope that she can speak more? Look, she's 8. You can absolutely work on communication. She needs to be getting the therapies and support that she needs, and everyone can be working on communication. Absolutely. All right, you guys. I want to know how old is your child with autism? If you have a child with autism, how old are they? Put it in the chat. I want to know. Put it in the chat. How old is your child with autism? 2, Honeys is 9, Melissa 3, and almost 16. You got 2. That's wonderful. Cinnamon 5, Light is 7. So I have a 3.5-year-old, and then I have an almost 2-year-old. And they're both diagnosed with autism. Mine is 5 years old. Brianna is an aunt and with a 6-year-old nephew with autism. I love that. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Well, I absolutely love that. a little bit about myself. I haven't introduced myself yet, just as we're getting started here. My name is Kylan. I have 2 kids with autism. I'm an autism advocate. I'm also a board certified behavior analyst. So I do ABA therapy, and I've done that for the past, I've worked with kids with autism for, over 13 years now. Now, I have a master's degree in autism studies, and I'm the CEO of a company that provides services to people with autism. And I go live every day for a couple hours because I enjoy it, you guys. I think it's so fun. So fun. And Lexi, thank you for that announcement. Yes, please, let's tap and get to $20,000, and then we can get to the daily news, the news of the day. Okay. My granddaughter 3 never spoke, hearing in one ear. Okay. Yeah, Debbie. All right. Please share the live, you guys. Let's get this out to more people. Donna says he does not want to be called autistic. He said he's not. He just has anxiety. Yeah, Donna, it's unfortunate that there can still be a stigma around it. It really does make me sad. There shouldn't be. There shouldn't be. And I think we're changing that. 20,000 likes, Brooklyn. $20,000? What are you talking about? 20,000 likes. 20,000 likes. All right. He drives to work. Yeah. Look, there's such a stigma around autism, and it's so frustrating to me. And I'm going to be super careful today over on YT. We have... Let's see. We have some comments over there that I'm going to go ahead and catch us up on. I see. Oh, it's Ms. McCoy, Ohio. 6, just diagnosed a little over a month ago. Wonderful. Thank you for being here. I wish you were getting 20K for the live. I think we'd all go live. Oh my gosh. That'd be amazing. Debbie, the schools are to be, not sure what you're saying there, Debbie. But yeah, you know what I think is going to change the whole stigma thing? You know what I think changes the stigma around autism is the wonderful autism siblings out there. I've said that before. Autism siblings are incredible. And they grow up to be the most caring and loving and accepting individuals out there. All right, you guys. Mama says, today my son told a stranger thank you so much. She said she loved his hair and that he was a joy. Mama, doesn't that feel so good to hear? What other celebrations do you guys have? Put some celebrations in the chat. What are some celebrations you guys have had? Let's celebrate our little kids. I'm trying to think of a celebration for mine. Today, my daughter, who was almost 2, we saw her for the first time pretending to eat with a spoon. And she was doing some imaginative play, and that's not always common for her to be doing. And it was really cool to see. She observed other people doing it, and then she started to do it. Mama says, incredible. He played with a friend today too. I love that. My 2-year-old took her brother on as her own, not prompted. Natalie, yes, autism siblings are incredible. What other wins? What other celebrations do you guys have? Anything today? Anything that's been going on? Oh, Lexi, my son did amazing on the city bus yesterday. Oh my gosh, I love that. Over on YT, it's Miss McCoy says, working on my son trying to order his own food, making progress. Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing. Okay, Peaches says he's doing better following me around the store. He's 3 years old and less tantrums. Oh, doesn't that feel good to have? Look, it's amazing when a child with autism starts following you and you don't have to be dragging them or forcing them to go where you want them to go. That's a good phase to get to. Natalie says, my 4-year-old said we're going down the slide today. Hey, you know what, Natalie? I sure hope that they were able to go down the slide lots of times today. I hope so. Late says, my son was able to sit through his evaluation yesterday. Oh my goodness, was this an autism evaluation, Late? Was this an autism evaluation? Mama says, having dialogue with him, living in prayer. He doesn't elope anymore either. Oh, that is fantastic. Melissa said, my 3-year-old met a service dog in training at the library and told the dog, I have autism. Oh my gosh. That is amazing. That is amazing. Stim says, hubby took boys to park. Mommy time. Oh, that is great. You enjoy that time. I hope you're reading a good book or watching a good movie or doing some fun stuff. Hey, this is good too, hanging out with us. Lou is on here and says that they have autism. That's wonderful. Over on YT, I give my son a list and he helps me find things at the store. That was a game changer for shopping. Oh, that is fun. That's a great way to do it, you guys. All right, I want to know who all is here. The first thing I want to do is I want to know where everyone's from. Please put the state that you're in the chat, or the country if you're not in the United States. I want to know where everyone's from. I did this right as we got started, but now we got 113 people here. I want to be seeing where people are. Where are you guys at today? My son has autism spectrum disorder. Can that be ruled out? AC, do you disagree with the diagnosis? Is that what you're saying? Or are you wondering if they can kind of reverse those symptoms? It's a good question. Okay, we got California, Pittsburgh, South Africa, California, Illinois, New York, Finland, Kentucky, South Africa, Louisiana. You guys, we got people from all over the world here joining. New Jersey, Texas. My son is 5 years old, has autism. Zambia. I love that. I love that. Very cool. Okay, someone in the chat asked if I have autism. Not that I know of, but I do have 2 kids with autism. I have a master's degree in autism studies. I'm a board certified behavior analyst, and I run a company that provides services to people with autism. So that's where I'm coming from. I'm a BCBA. I am not a doctor, and I don't have autism, but I have a lot of insight into autism, and I'm not afraid to say if I don't know something as well. So now we are at 3,000 likes, you guys. What I like to do is I like to get us to 20,000 likes before I go over the daily news of the day. So be tapping on that screen, everybody. Okay. I am curious. Oh, what's your thoughts about having one child autistic and go for a second? Okay. There's a lot of people who are very judgmental and say if you have one kid with autism, you shouldn't have more kids. And I want to tell you, there's nothing wrong with kids with autism. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a kid with autism. And you should be aware that if you have a second child, their odds of having autism are greatly increased. We're talking about you have a 20% chance of having autism if their older sibling has autism. And that's up from 2 or 3% chance if you don't have a child with autism. However, I would say do not let that prevent you from deciding to have another child. You should be aware of that. That way you can be looking for the signs of autism earlier and be able to diagnose autism earlier in your child. But it's, autism is not a death sentence. It's not a punishment. It's not anything like that. You're able to, but if you have one kid and they have autism and you're already burned out and you don't feel like you can have another, there's nothing wrong with that either. But just be aware of some of those statistics. Nombi says, does that mean it's hereditary? Very good question. So it is. We do know that autism is largely genetic. Up to 80 to 90% genetic, and then 10 to 20% of environmental factors while the mother is pregnant. That means I will be worried for the next 2 years just waiting to see the outcome. You know what? That's what you might think. But for me, so we have our 3.5-year-old has autism. We had another child after that. And she, we started seeing the signs at about 14 months when she started to regress. And we thought she was neurotypical. She was responding to her name. She was caught up to about the same point that her older brother was. And then she started to regress. And so that's been an interesting journey. But for us, the grief hasn't been the same. It hasn't been as, devastating or life-changing. It's been more of like we recognized it quick. We got her diagnosed at 19 months old. We're getting her into services now. And yeah. Rev says metals in the vaccines. Yep, so that has nothing to do with autism. the metals. So that's been studied a lot. Been studied a lot for sure. Okay, do the signs of autism disappear? So I wouldn't say that they disappear, but a lot of times naturally through maturation and age, some of the symptoms and signs of autism do naturally tend to go down. They're not as salient. But autism doesn't go away. You can't reverse it. You can't cure it. It's not something to be cured. It is just the way the brain developed and the way that the person is and the way that we need to support them. Sam says, that's what happened to my son, regression at 17 months. Yeah, my daughter was at about 14 months that we started seeing the regression. Dunk says, do you know anything about getting approved for caretaker pay for a child with level 3? Dunk, that is a great question. It depends on the state that you're in and the location that you're in. In Utah, it's not really an option. Or I guess there is kind of a slight chance. First, you have to go through a 10 to 20 year wait list, and then there is a slight chance if it works out that way. But it's not a real possibility if you are new to the system in Utah. But it depends on the state that you're in. You're just going to have to research the programs that are available in your location. What are the chances that an autistic individual have 100% autistic children? User, I don't have the data on that. In fact, I don't have the data on the chances that if a mother or father have autism, what the chances are that their child will have autism. I do know the sibling statistic that I shared before. Wow, we are already at 6,000 likes, you guys. We are well on the way to getting to the daily breaking news that I'm going to be going through. Hi, Kylan. Big week for us. Son had reevaluations for school. The report's still under 1%. Tough to read. Nicole, guys, I've been there. Have you guys had a school evaluation before? In the chat, put yes if you've gone through the school evaluation process. They're brutal. They're brutal. Can I tell you why I don't like the school evaluations? I don't like the school evaluations because they measure compliance. They don't measure competence. I don't know if you caught that when I said that. They measure compliance. That's what the school is looking for. And what a lot of evaluations, even professionals use, is they are looking for compliance with what the person is asking them to do. They're not trying to measure the competence of that child. An example of this, my son had his school evaluation, and it was a bad situation because there were no toys in the room. He was bored. He refused to do anything that they told him to do. And just like Nicole, my son was told that he was in the bottom 1 percentile. And a lot of what they were doing is, opening a book and saying, what is that? Pointing at an elephant, or touch the giraffe. And here's the funny thing is we went home and on his own terms, he picked up a book and, he wouldn't do a thing that we asked him to do there, but on his own terms, he could open up the book and he knew all the names of the animals and the sounds of the animals on his own terms. And so they were clearly measuring compliance, not competence. But that doesn't make it any easier, going to the IEP meeting after and them saying, sorry, your child's in the bottom 1 percentile, doesn't understand much of what you're saying. And just be aware that as rough as that sounds, the outcome of that is that they get more support, they get more services, you guys. So my son, because he's in that percentile, qualifies for one-on-one, someone trained at school in ABA, and it's just like he has ABA therapy, but it's at school. MP says, my baby is 3 years old and is not talking yet. Here's a question. Here's a question for you guys. Put 1 in the chat if your child is diagnosed with autism. Put 2 in the chat if you think your child has autism, but they're not yet diagnosed, or you're wondering if your child has autism is 2. 1 is they already have autism. 2, they are just, you're waiting to get a diagnosis. A lot of 1s and a lot of 2s, you guys. Look, whether you're a 1 or you're 2, you are welcome here. Or even if you have autism or you're associated with autism, if you're a professional, you guys are welcome here. But for those wondering if your child has autism, I'm wondering if you guys in the chat can put a little bit of what were some of the first signs that you noticed in your child that they had autism. What were some of those earliest signs of autism that your child had? And I'll share some for those that are put 2 in the chat that are wondering if their child has autism or they're on the wait list. Let me tell you what we noticed. We noticed that our son was not responding to his name. He wasn't communicating. He missed every single milestone. Those doctor's appointments, those pediatric appointments where they make you fill out all those surveys, they were miserable because he was delayed every time. He was fixated on his hands, and he would not point and did not look where we were pointing. That's some of what we noticed first. And so, yeah. If you are wondering if your child has autism, what I want you to do is fill out a screener. We have a screener listed in the bio. It's the MChat. That's what doctors use. And it's the screener that they use to determine if you should go in for an evaluation. And it's meant for toddlers. And it asks things like, does your child climb on furniture? Does your child respond to their name? Do they point? Things like that. And it has about 23 questions or so. And then it gives you a score and it tells you if you are low risk, moderate risk, or high risk for autism. So go check that out. Go check that out. Yeah, Dunk says it's extra tough when it's your first kid and you don't know what's typical and what isn't. Absolutely. Yep. And then if you have a second kid, you'll be a lot more prepared to see the signs and know what's developmentally normal. Guys, we are at 7,500 likes. Once we get to 10,000 likes, we are able to do the daily autism news of the day. Please be tapping that screen so that we can get to that portion of the stream here. All right, you guys. Over on YT, my son's eval and IEP review is on the 20th. I'm nervous. Oh my goodness, guys. Look, we give IEPs a bad name, and understandably, they aren't always pleasant. I got emotional during my son's IEP because they were breaking down all the scores, and I just had to tell him, look, I know my son's challenges. Can we move on from the data and work on goals together? And we did. But really, like, some of the best humans on the planet are part of those meetings, people that really care about people with disabilities. And I just hope that your team in the IEP is as productive and helpful as my family's team has been. Oh, Cup of Joe says, I do not get to be involved in my children's education development. Oh, I'm sorry, Cup of Joe. I'm not sure what happened there, but I'm so sorry. Allie says, something also deep down in my tummy told me my children were also autistic. I can't explain it. Yeah, I think a lot of parents, they just get that feeling, they get that feeling. Okay, I'm curious, for those here, let's go ahead. I'll answer some more questions here. How do you navigate it when a family member says something rude about your kid but didn't mean it? Did they apologize? Look, you don't need to tolerate anyone being rude to your child. Autism parents, we need to stand up to people who are rude to our children. We should have no problem if someone says something dismissive about our child, if they try to tell us that our child, if they're commenting on what they're doing, if they're telling us how we should parent, it is none of their business. And it is our responsibility and obligation as a parent to protect our kids from being in those situations. So you have one of two options. You either get to correct the behavior of your family member, or it may need to be that your child isn't around that family member. Because for my kids, I'm only going to let them be around people that that are loving and supportive, and especially as they're young and vulnerable. So, yeah, Allie says, I would acknowledge their opinion if it was coming from a good place, but advocate that we don't talk like that. Yeah. Yeah, look, people say dumb stuff, okay, and they don't mean it. The worst is when your child first gets diagnosed and all your family is new to it, and some of the ignorant statements that we say. I saw a clip on my For You page today, and I think I might have to stitch it because it really bothered me. And I'm trying to and help me digest this, you guys. Help me digest why this bothered me. But there's a TikTok influencer, this one, or a social media influencer. He's on YouTube a lot. He's a financial guy. His name's Caleb Hammer. I don't know if you guys know him, but he just posted a video on TikTok today that I just saw that that he made a comment that was like the family. All I saw, I don't watch his stuff. I just occasionally see clips, I guess. But the family on there was like, yeah, like our son has autism and is nonverbal, and we have to do therapy 3 times a week. And he was like, it seems like every kid has autism these days. Every guest that comes on my show, they all just have autism, and talked like that about it. And I, for some reason, like, I'm trying to get down to what he was trying to say about it, but it was dismissive, I guess. It was dismissive. And I just, yeah, if you don't have a kid with autism, like, I could see how it looks like autism parents are making a big deal out of something if you don't recognize how challenging it is. But I really don't like that dismissive approach. We'll see. Maybe I'll stitch the video of Caleb Hammer. I don't know. Sam says, I feel like whatever I do, it's not enough. Sam, I want to touch on this. I need to touch on this, you guys. And I'm going to ask you guys, how are you doing today? On a scale of 1 to 10, how burnt out are you? 10 means you don't know if you can continue. 1 means that you are not even taking care of you don't have any challenges. Maybe you're doing your hobby right now and loving it. So 1 to 10. 10 is like you cannot go another day. And how burnt out are you right now? How are you guys doing? We have 5, 8, 7, 7, 5, 8.5, 8. Today's been an okay day. My kids have been good. I think I'm again a 5. That's what I was yesterday. I see some 3s. I see a 9, some 8, 6. So burnt out. A 10, King Ray. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, King Ray. And the reason I ask this is when we are close to burnout, it feels like we are never doing enough. And that can push us to burnout. Oh, 10 isn't good. No, 10 is bad, you guys. 10 means you can't go another day. 1 means that you're doing really good. Sorry if that was confusing, King Ray. About a 9, 8, 2.6. Aisha, you must have taken a survey to get that number. Cup of Joe misses their kids. I'm sorry, Cup of Joe. Changed mine to a 7. Got it. Look, this feeling that we are never doing enough as autism parents, it's always going to be there, you guys. It never feels like we are doing enough. And that is honestly the main reason that I've created this platform, because the social media platforms around autism push so many things on you that you are supposed to be doing for your child. And it doesn't need to be that complicated, you guys. I mean, it is really hard to take care of a child with autism. I'm not saying it's not hard, but the amount of things that we need to be worrying about and doing, I think most of us could simplify what we are prioritizing right now. And the reason we have to do that is because those of you who put 8, 9, or 10 in the chat for how burnt out you are, I am worried about you. I am worried about your longevity of being able to maintain good support and relationship with your child ongoing. This is not something that only lasts a week, a month, or a year. We're talking about a lifelong relationship with your child. And when we get burnt out like that, we can't live like that very long. And so my whole message that I share with families is, how do we reduce that? How do we make it sustainable? Oh my gosh, and I just got a superwoman. What is that? That was so cool. Oh my gosh, Allie. That was so kind of you. I really appreciate that. So here's what I want to say. When we talk about what you need to be prioritizing right now, what you really need to be doing is, very first, you need to build your village. Let us be your village on here, you guys. We are a village. Look at this chat, you guys. Have you seen such a positive comment section in TikTok before? Like, hardly anybody is rude on there. We got moderators that filter that out. This is a safe space for autism. Let us be part of that village. But not only this live, but you need a village in your real life, okay? You need families. You need friends close by. You need family, if you have family, to be supporting you through this. And if you don't have a village, I want to work on that with you. I want you to be able to build your village. That is the very first step of having a child with autism. Why? Because you need to focus on yourself. You need to focus on yourself. All right, you guys, we are at 13,000, 14,000 likes now. Once we get to 20,000 likes, we are going over the autism news of the day. Very, very exciting part of the daily live. All right, let's go ahead and Cup of Joe. ABA is for children or adults? Yep, it's for both. Most of the time it's for kids. ABA therapy is an intensive intervention of skill building. And so if you're thinking like level 1 autistic adult, that's not very common to have ABA therapy. But it would be for a child with autism, or someone that might be, level 2 or level 3 on the spectrum as an adult who needs more supports. All right. Chelsea says, what's your feeling on vaccinations and autism? All right, you guys, let me know in the chat. What do you think? Is there a correlation between vaccines and autism? Even a correlation, I want to know. Is there a correlation between vaccines impacting autism? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat. Let me tell you a little bit about that. Where did this rumor come from? Why do we think that vaccines cause autism? Well, I'll tell you why. And it kind of has to do with big pharma. It's kind of weird that I'm going to put it that way, but big pharma pushed that vaccines caused autism. How did that happen? Well, if you go back to the 90s, it happened with the infamous Wakefield study, where there was an MMR vaccine, and Dr. Wakefield was working on creating his own. He was involved in making his own MMR vaccine. And so he published a study that falsely claimed that vaccines, the MMR vaccine, caused autism. Now, it did later come out that he was connected to that because he was trying to get a different MMR vaccine out into production. And it was retracted that he had falsified data within that study. And the data itself was very poorly designed. I think there were like 10 participants that he pretty much just went and asked autism parents, hey, did your son start showing symptoms right after getting vaccinated? And people said yes, and then he took a note down. Like that was it, of 10 families. That was the study that he published that got out there and created this mass hysteria of vaccines cause autism. And that, I mean, ever since then, it hasn't been able to get away, regardless of the dozens of studies showing otherwise. So you can thank Big Pharma for pushing the vaccines cause autism narrative, trying to rule out, get rid of the current MMR vaccine so another company could get theirs out there. All right, you guys, we're at 17,000 likes. We are almost there to be able to go over the autism news of the day. Okay, I can only afford 10 hours of therapy for child. I fear will not be enough. Oh, I am sorry. I am sorry. I want to question that, though. You're talking about ABA therapy, right? The way it works with ABA therapy and insurance is you're going to hit your max out of pocket within a month, whether you do 10 hours a week or 30 hours a week. Within the first month or two, you're going to hit your out-of-pocket max. Why do I say that? Well, because it's expensive to do ABA therapy, which means it's going to cost you the same to do 10 hours a week as it would to do 30 or 40 hours a week, because insurance pays after that. And so I would recommend that you talk to your ABA company about that. What I'm going to let you in on a little secret, you guys. Put ABA in the chat if your child does ABA therapy. I want to tell you guys a secret from someone who runs an ABA company. Put ABA in the chat if you are if you do ABA, or if your child does ABA. Put it in the chat. I want to see if you guys have that. And I want to tell you a little secret about ABA. ABA providers, it's kind of shifting gears that in more and more areas, they are trying to find clients. There's not long wait lists. There's places popping up everywhere that want to support your child. What that means is there are many ABA companies that will completely waive your responsibility to pay for your portion of ABA because they care more about just getting it paid from insurance. Now, they can't do that. They can't just say, hey, we'll pay for it for you if you come and do ABA with us. But what they can do is they can set up a financial aid system that can be very generous that you can apply for. Now, so what I want you to do, if you get ABA therapy and you have out-of-pocket costs, what I want you to do is first, I want you to talk to the ABA company and say, what financial aid systems do you have? I would love to apply. And now the first thing they're going to say is, oh, we can put you on a payment plan. And you can say, oh no, I'm looking to apply to have my portion waived. I'm looking to get as many hours of ABA as my child can get. And listen and see if they have options to apply for financial aid to waive your portion of the responsibility. All right, you guys, we are at 19,000 likes. As soon as that hits 20,000, we are going over the daily autism news of the day. When can you tell the level of the autism in a child? At what age? Okay, so the level system is not that great, you guys. If you are a autism parent, what level did they diagnose your child? Put it in the chat. 1, 2, or 3, or no level. Let me know in the chat. 1, 2, or 3, or no level. What level did they diagnose your child at? Put it in the chat. Okay, 2, 3, no level, 3. Guys, these levels are ridiculous, okay? Because I like to compare it to a bathroom scale. Could you imagine stepping on a bathroom scale and it says 150 pounds? Oh my gosh, Kenya, thank you for the hand hearts. That means so much. When you guys do gifts like that, do you know how much that means to me? It means the world. It gets the word out to more people. TikTok sees that kind of interaction and it helps push things out. So I appreciate it, Kenya. Thank you. And so then you have a bathroom scale, you step on 150 pounds, you step off, you step back on, and it's 200 pounds. And then you step off, step back on, it's 100 pounds. Would you ever buy that bathroom scale? No, you would not. You wouldn't even use that to measure your weight. Well, autism levels are kind of like that. Every psychologist who evaluates uses their own system to determine what level your child is. And so level 2 to 1 is not the same as a level 2 to another. And so you cannot fully trust or rely on those levels. It's also not a predictor of where your child is going to go. It is not a predictor of success or predictor of the future. It changes. It's a snapshot in time according to your current opinion of the psychologist. All right, you guys. Hey, Destiny, good to see you on here. Destiny, I've been on for like 2 hours. We're just getting off right now. Just kidding, guys. Just kidding. We just started about half hour ago. Guys, we're at 21,000 likes. Do you know what time that is? Do you know what that means? It is now officially time for the autism news of the day. And I should not actually be excited about this because we actually have some absolutely terrible news. It's not always negative, you guys. I'm sorry that this time it is going to be a little bit negative. This is a story that just came out today. In Kentucky. Do we have anyone from Kentucky here? Who lives in Kentucky? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat if you're in Kentucky. Because I'm so sick of reading these. On Friday at around 7:30 p.m., the Hamilton County, there was a report of a missing child, of a 9-year-old girl with autism who was nonverbal. And they looked all through the night, and the next day, this is a report all over. I'm reading from people.com. They put out an alert in the system. Everyone was looking for her. It was the Kentucky State Police had issue an Ian alert for this child who was 9 years old, who was autistic and nonverbal, after she was reported missing on Friday. She was found yesterday in a nearby pond. I don't know why these are daily. Just happened so quick to have a child move away from you and not see where they're going. I'm just, in the off chance that the parents are ever listening, or I don't know, what I would want the parents to know is that this is not their fault. I can't imagine what these parents are going through right now. It is so easy for our kids to get away from us. And I want the Din family to know that this was not their fault, and I'm so sorry. And I just want to give you a big hug. I promise we're gonna have more positive news on other days, but sometimes I think it's important for us to hear about some of these, to remind us what's at stake. Kids with autism are up to 160 times more likely to drown than their neurotypical peer. 160 times. Not 1.6. 160 times more likely to drown. If you're an autism parent, your child is 160 times more likely to drown than their neurotypical peer. I hate it. I hate this, you guys. I hate it. And why? Well, kids with autism tend to elope. They can be heedless to danger. Many are fascinated with water, and it just sets us up for a terrifying situation. Parents, this is just a daily reminder to take those precautions with your kid. if your kid wanders, if they elopes, err on the side of safety. I know a lot of people have concerns about putting locks on the doors and things like that. But our kids with autism, if you have a kid who elopes, those precautions are often needed. And you're not a bad parent. You're not being abusive in any way. You are being more loving than you know. Even the fire safety risks, it's well established that it's safer if you have a child who wanders. If there's a crisis, you want to know where they are. You don't want, they would not be able to properly escape on their own anyways. And knowing where they are and having proper labels on your house to help fire department find them is far more impactful than not having locks on the doors. And so please, if you take anything from my live today, it's go right now, go today, take a look at your home. If you're, oh my goodness, Kenya, you're going crazy with the gifts. Oh my gosh, I don't deserve it. But I really do appreciate you, Kenya. I really do. Yeah, we can do alarms. We can do all that it takes to make our homes safe. In my house, I'm looking, we have some cabinets that we need to secure. Brooklyn, if you're on here, my wife, this is a reminder for us. We need to go through and make sure every cabinet is safe. We have our daughter tends to put things in her mouth, and it's just another review to really make sure every cabinet is locked that has anything at all that she could get into. It just, guys, we got to keep our kids safe. I guess this goes into it, you guys. If you go into my bio, I am putting on something I'm doing is I have an adaptive swim trainer she is an expert on water safety and autism, and she's doing a presentation that's totally free, 100% free. Kenya, oh my gosh, thank you so much for the bubble gum. You are going absolutely crazy. I really appreciate you, really. And so this adaptive swim teacher, she is putting on a free training. I have in one of my clinics that I run. We're opening our 4th clinic in Utah, but one of them, we have an indoor swimming pool, and she's our director over all the water and our adaptive swim program. And she's doing a totally free training. All I want is if people attend and it can help reduce this terrible statistic of drowning, that's the goal here. That's it. That is the goal here. That's all I want, is to promote safety here. So if you can spare an hour of your time, there's 2 options. You don't have to sign up for both. They're going to be repeat webinars, but they are going to happen live, so you can put your questions in the chat with a professional who trains people with autism to swim. So go ahead and check that out in my bio. Kenya says, what is the big difference between early intervention and ABA? Early intervention simply refers to the time at which the intervention occurs. Typically, it's referring to before the age of 3. ABA therapy can be one of those services in early intervention. Many of the other services are speech therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy are oftentimes included in early intervention services. In the United States, each state has an early intervention program that they subsidize the cost of early intervention, but ABA therapy is not included. It's not for autism. It's for, just general development of children. And so they usually do speech therapy, occupational therapy, and physical therapy. And at the age of 3, that transitions to the school system to take that over. So, you guys, I want to know who is here just finding me today. If you're new, put FYP in the chat. If you just found me on your For You page today, put FYP in the chat. I want to see who is new here, who is just finding out about me and finding out about what we do here. And oh my goodness, we got some good people here. We got McDaddy, we got Love, we got Kenya, Elsa Rose, hello, Ashley, Misty, Willow, Nate, Natalie, Honey, Pretty Girl, Daff, Miss, Scooby. I see you guys. Hello, Cass. Thank you guys for being here if you're new. Please try to tune in sometimes. I go live every single day if you're new here. My background is I'm a board-certified behavior analyst. I work with kids with autism. I've been doing that. Oh my gosh, Kenya. Are you kidding me? I had a mustache? I really appreciate that. That means the world. Thank you. So I have 2 kids with autism as well. So I've worked with kids with autism for over a decade, but also about a year and a half ago, my son was diagnosed, and about a month ago, my daughter was diagnosed with autism. I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but I knew a lot of people with autism, and I never thought I'd be a father to kids with autism. I did not think that was something in my cards. I did not know that was something that was going to be dealt to me in my life. And I am so grateful for it. And I love my children, and I love autism. But the challenges are real, and I understand those challenges, and I'm so grateful for this community who can help participate and support each other through some of those challenges. I'm currently the CEO of a company that provides services to kids with autism. Now, that's my day job, but my true passion is coming here on live and talking to you guys. That's what I do all day, 2 hours a day, not all day, but usually I go live around noon Eastern time, Monday through Saturday, and then Sunday it's later in the afternoon. Kenya, I'm in Utah. Payne says, I have autism and I'm wondering what steps I could take to get a service dog. Payne, that's a great question. So a service dog, you're going to want to go, I actually don't know. I was going to tell you some stuff I've heard. I haven't been through the process, and I haven't personally supported that, but I can put it in the chat here. What steps do you guys feel like you can do for a service dog? Kenya, a hand heart. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Guys, really, those gifts, it does push this out to more people when you send those. So I do appreciate you. I think the first thing is, what are you looking to do with a service dog? There's a difference between a service dog and an emotional support animal. A service dog needs to be there for a specific reason to support a child or a person. They have to be trained to do complete a specific task. Now, that an emotional support animal is simply there to give comfort and through challenges. So they are different. I know every state is different, but do all kids with autism qualify for Social Security benefits? Yeah, that's one of those that it's that every state is different. In Utah, no, it's income based that you have to have if you meet the income requirements. That's the same for qualifying for Medicaid in Utah as well. Yeah. Scooby says, wish I could take my cat to work. Yeah, we got 2 cats in my house. We got 2 cats. All right, let's go ahead and look over at YT, the other place I'm streaming, says, how do I get therapy for my daughter or get diagnosed as adult? She had an IEP at school, but I feel she fell through the cracks and she is struggling as an adult. Floor, let me talk to you for a second here. That is a really good question. A lot of women were missed in being diagnosed. We're talking about millions of women. Cupid's bow, Kenya. Oh my gosh. You need to settle down, Kenya. You're doing too much here. That's crazy. I appreciate you. Look, women have been underdiagnosed in autism for a long time. Why did this happen? Do you guys know? Do you guys know why women currently are going through this process of getting diagnosed like crazy as adults? Do you know why? Because I tell you what society will tell you is that it's a trend that you're trying to jump on. But I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a second. Why do you think so many adults, especially adult women, are being diagnosed with autism right now? No one was allowed to be educated back then. That's part of it. Afonso, is there a cure for autism type 1? Nope, no cure for autism. Cup of Joe, no research for women then. Okay, you are spot on. Look, the whole autism diagnosis was based on studies around boys and how boys showed symptoms for autism. Now, how does it look different for girls? Well, girls, there is good research. Oh my gosh, you got love painting going on here. Thank you so much. Look, all the research that was going on was to diagnose boys. And girls, there's good research that shows that girls mask earlier. Girls observe what other people are doing. They blend in, even though it's 10 times harder for them if they have autism to fit in socially. But they do it, and they mask earlier. And so because of what research was being done and that girls mask earlier, now we have so many adult women especially, and it happened to men too that were missed, but we're seeing a lot of adult women who are looking at themselves and saying, hey, I kind of fit that. Like I struggled socially and a lot more than what like other people seem to be going through. And as they learn about autism, they find that they kind of fit that. And so, Flor, to answer your question, you can absolutely get diagnosed as an adult. Your daughter can, and there are supports and services. Now, if they fit more of the level 1 criteria where they have low support needs, one of the biggest helps is to get a mental health therapist who is an expert in autism. That's one of the best things you can do. How to not get so angry and have more patience with a child with autism. Let me help you guys with this one. I feel pretty passionate about this one. I want to the way that we have more patience with autism, and whether you need to hear this or you need to hear my explanation so that you can help your family members hear this. I want to give you some perspective of what a person with autism is going through. Kenya, thank you for the paper crane. My goodness. Let me tell you a little bit about what it's like to have autism, from what people have said, what the science says about it. When a baby is born, their brain starts to make neural pathways, connections in the brain, synaptic connections in the brain, that whenever anything is happening in their environment, any sight, any touch, any sound, their brain makes connections. It fires off. Now, as a baby grows, their brain does something called pruning, okay? And what pruning does is it makes it so that those things that don't matter very much that are going on, your brain filters those out. That's called pruning. Now, people with autism, they prune differently, okay? So let me ask you this. Right now, are you paying attention to the glasses that are on your face? Are you paying attention to the socks that are on your feet? Are you paying attention to the sound of the fan going on in the background? What about the light that's above your head, the ceiling fan, the noise the ceiling fan is making? If you said no to that, that's pretty typical that your brain filters those things out. Now, people with autism, quite often, their brain has pruned differently, indicating that all of those noises and sounds and other things that they're experiencing in the world, it is all happening. You can feel it, you can hear it at the exact same time. So imagine going through that and, seeing the bright lights, hearing the fan, hearing all these noises, and then hearing your name, and everything is just as loud as someone saying your name. So it doesn't seem important. So you don't pay attention to that. You're paying attention to the other hundreds of things going on in your environment right now. And so when you lose patience with a child with autism, I want you to remember that and have this in perspective of what that child might be experiencing right now, the sensory overload that they're going through, the noises that their brain is not able to filter out, the sounds, the smells, everything that they can see, that they can hear, that they can touch is all bothering them at the same time and having them be overwhelmed. And so obviously this can be an overgeneralization. This might not be the same exact experience everyone has, but I do think it helps put some things in perspective. And if we have that empathy, we notice that they're stimming because that helps them regulate their brain that is experiencing so much right now, that we're going to let them stim and be happy and regulate their body that is struggling so much. Kenya, oh my gosh, another hat and mustache. That's crazy. That's crazy. Thank you so much. William, why don't they like being touched? It's kind of part of that same thing, that like everything touching them, they can feel all at the same time. For you, it doesn't really bother you. There's not that sensitivity, but they are feeling and hearing and seeing everything at the same time. Ross says, let the children stim. Don't stop it. Don't prevent it. I agree. I agree. Unless it's hurting someone. If it's hurting someone, you stop it. But you go and you stim with them, you guys. You go and you stim with them. Cup of Joe says they feel everything. Exactly. Yes, you get it. They're feeling everything at the same time. Payne says, I have autism and I can feel everything a lot. Usually I'm extremely sensitive to touch. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you for sharing that. Ross says, yes, of course. If they're almost getting hurt, also jump in. Of course. Yes. Best way to treat autism and depression. We have been in talk therapy for 2 years. Kelly, is this for a child or is this for you, for an adult? Who is this for? Let me know. I have 2 ASD, a 10, almost 11-year-old and 7-year-old, and the 10 to 11-year-old doesn't like being around his brother. That's a hard part. And what's really hard is we can't always tell what our children like and what they don't like. A lot of times it's not that they don't like it, they appear to be indifferent about it. But if it were to be any different, they wouldn't like that. I'm sure they would miss their sibling. 17-year-old Kelly. Okay. Yeah, for 17-year-old with autism, you absolutely need a great therapist. You've been doing that. That is the number one therapy recommended. Also, potential medications. Be sure to talk to your pediatrician about. There's not a magic support or system for that. Kenya, the confetti as well. Thank you so much. That means a lot. Beauty in Color says, any recommended vitamins? My boy is 14 years old. All right, you guys, I'm going to get a little controversial here. You're not going to like what I have to say here. Let me tell you. There is no medicine. There is no supplement. There is no diet that is recommended by default for a child who has autism. That doesn't mean that if you did those things with your child and you saw benefit, that you did something wrong. But I do want to ease the thought and the burden that a lot of new autism parents feel. This feeling of being overwhelmed, of needing to figure out all the diet stuff, all the supplements, and all the vitamins. It is well documented throughout all major pediatric organizations that for autism, there is no standard medication, vitamin, test for gut health, diet, or anything like that. And I recommend not even focusing on any of that. If you really insist on focusing on that, wait until you're in about step 4 of what I talk about when it's time to be learning about things with autism, because that's not what's going to impact your child the most. And it's going to cause a lot of work and effort and expense on your part. So what are these 5 steps that I talk about, you guys? I'm not selling this. This isn't something I'm selling. It's just a framework that I have started talking about this in a way that makes it really easy for us autism parents to digest and understand this pathway that kids with autism, that we as parents with kids with autism go through. There's 5 steps, okay? And as I go through this, I want you to say the number if that is something you need to be working on, okay? So number 1 is build a village. Put 1 in the chat if you need to work on building a village. Before you do anything, if you have a child with autism, I need you to get your village in place. How's your village coming, you guys? Has anyone made any progress? I don't know if Destiny is still in here, but she's an amazing example of one that she recently, after talking about this stuff, she went and she made a Facebook group for people in her area so she can get local support, a Facebook group for parents of kids with autism. There are ways, a lot of people I hear who say, I don't have a village, and they just kind of leave it at that as it's a fact. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm not blessed with a village. And I am here to kind of question that there are things you can do to build your village. The second step is get the diagnosis, get clarity, for your child. If you are still trying to get a diagnosis, this is step 2. So put a 2 in the chat if you're still trying to get a diagnosis. Now, on top of getting the diagnosis, after you get the diagnosis of autism, it is good to do the standard genetic test that your pediatrician can order. I don't recommend like a lot of these other tests that you have to pay a lot for. But if you're trying to get an autism diagnosis, put 2 in the chat. My big recommendation here is if you have to wait more than 6 months for your evaluation, I want you to call every single psychologist that can diagnose autism in a 5-hour radius of your home. It is worth driving several hours to go and save months of wait time. So please call around. Don't settle on just one waitlist area. That's step 2, you guys. Step 3. Here's the question here. With step 3, you need to build a care team. Okay? So put 3 in the chat if you're still trying to figure out what therapies to do or if you're on waitlist to get therapies. So step 3 is build a care team. Now, what are the therapies that we recommend? There are typically 4 default therapies that we recommend for kids with autism. The first is ABA therapy, applied behavior analysis. The second is occupational therapy. The third is speech therapy. And the fourth is mental health therapy. Those 4 tend to be the frontline therapies for people with autism that can be very supportive. Now, the cool thing about building your care team is you are a care team manager. You don't have to be the expert. You don't have to know everything about autism. This is why we have steps. It's not till step 4 that I want you to try to learn everything you can about autism. Once your kid is already in all the therapies, you guys have stabilized, you're doing good, you have your village. Now go and try to learn all you can about autism. If you want to go and learn everything you can about research-based ways to support, and you want to find, all the things that you can do to help your kid be healthy and, everything that you can do that at step 4, okay? Now, step 5 is preparing for the future. There are things that you can do once you feel like you're learning and advocating for your child. You can then plan for your child's future. I'm terrified of what's going to happen to my kid after I'm gone. And so preparing for that, on my live sometimes we talk about things that we can do. There are special needs bank accounts. It's called an ABLE account. Have you guys heard about this? ABLE account, ABLE. In the United States, you can shelter your funds legally to make sure that you don't go over the Social Security asset limit if you have a disability into an ABLE account. ABLE account. You can be saving into that account right now if your child has autism, and they can use it for their entire life. There's tax benefits and Social Security benefits. So things like that, preparing for the future. All right, you guys. Cup of Joe, that's awesome. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead. I got some questions over here on YT that I'm going to go ahead and read. I like to imagine as if you're in a park, the ice cream truck going by, the pond in the distance, the birds, the smell of the food, the sight of grass, the noise of cars, lights going by, and so much more at the same time. Yeah, I think this was before when I was commenting on some of that. Here's a problem. Soon my child asked to go bald. Yeah. All right, you guys. Okay, so those therapies, Car, is ABA therapy, occupational therapy. Occupational therapy is really great. ABA therapy tends to be the most intensive, 30 to 40 hours a week that insurance can pay for, depending on your child's need and how many goals they need to be working on with your child. And they do a lot of skill building, communication help, things like that. Occupational therapy, they are incredible at sensory needs for your child and trying to meet those sensory needs. There's a lot of overlap between OT and ABA as well because they can work on skill building. And then speech therapy, they focus on communication. The problem with OT and speech is insurance typically only pays maybe an hour a week of those therapies. And so a lot of it is teaching the parent how to do the therapy and working with the child, but also teaching the parent a lot, which is great. You should participate in that. And the fourth is mental health therapy. That applies most. That's like a therapist that applies most if your child is conversational and if they suffer from anxiety or depression or anything like that, mental health stuff that can co-occur with autism. So those are that doesn't mean that you have to do all 4 of those at the same time. My child, we probably should consult with an OT, but just because it's not as intensive, we haven't done OT yet. We do ABA therapy. He gets speech therapy at school. And yeah, he's been doing speech for a long time. So yeah, those are the things to keep your eye on with the therapies. My kids get speech and OT during the ABA. I love that, Ra. That's great. Yeah, there's a lot of ABA companies that can accommodate that. Carr says, would you say I should start mental health therapy for a young child, 7 years old, or wait? If your child has anxiety or depression, I recommend mental health therapy if you have the time for it. Now, if doing that is going to cause you and your child more stress and anxiety, just adding that therapy in, it's probably not worth it. But if anxiety and or like OCD or depression are a big factor there, yeah, you're gonna want to. All right, you guys, a little introduction about me, what I'm doing here. I go live every day for a couple of hours. Usually it's noon Eastern time for 2 hours. Sundays, I go a little bit later. So I have a master's degree in autism studies. I have 2 kids with autism of my own, 3.5-year-old, almost 2-year-old. I love them to death. I'm a huge autism advocate. You'll find me quite often communicating with legislators, going to Capitol Hill in Utah and advocating in my local community. Just standing up for disability rights is what I do all the time. I'm a board certified behavior analyst, so I've been doing ABA therapy and working with people with disabilities since 2013. I run a company that provides services to people with autism throughout Utah. We're opening our 4th autism clinic in Utah. We signed the lease on Friday, so pretty exciting. But again, I've said this before, I say it every time. My favorite part of the day that I look forward to is going live. I really prioritize that. I'm consistent. I come live, and I just love having conversations with you guys. So some of my favorite stuff to do. So if you are on here and you see right here it says follow, that means that you don't follow me yet. You can tap that button and it doesn't even take you away from this page. That way you can find me next time I go live. All right, you guys, let's bring some people up. Who has a question for me? Who wants to? I enjoy having some of these conversations. You know what? I want people to request up if you are going through a hard time right now. If you have a child with autism and you're having a hard time and you have a question for me, or you want to just talk about how hard things are for you right now, I want to hear from you. I want to talk to you. I want to make your day better. Please request up. I'll go ahead and change my settings. Request up if you're having a hard time today. If you're struggling, if there's stuff that might not be going your way, I want you to come up and talk to us. Let me go ahead and change some settings so that you guys are able to request up a little bit easier. There we go. All right, you guys, go ahead and request up. If you want to come up, have a conversation. If you're going through it, if you're having a little bit of a hard time or anything, come on up. Let's have a conversation.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you. How are you doing? Where are you calling from?
I am calling from Illinois.
Wonderful. And how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Sorry, I hear a feedback.
Oh, how
Let me
does everyone
take off
else
my
hear it? I can drop you and you can try to come back up.
Sorry. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Are you still getting the
Oh, I
feedback?
hear myself.
Okay, let me disconnect you and then you can request back up. I'm so sorry. All right, go ahead and request back up there and I'll let you back up. Everyone else was hearing it just fine. It looked like it was just something that you were getting on your end. So.
Hey, how's that?
Can you hear me better?
Yes, I can, and I'm not feeding back.
Oh, good. Good. Well, how are you doing? Are you an autism parent or what's your connection to all this?
So I'm an autism parent. I'm also a toddler teacher.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, I love it. I love being a
Like
teacher and a
preschool.
mom. Yes.
Yeah, wonderful.
Um, and I am diagnosed ADHD. And we believe my husband's on the spectrum, but so
It's a
we
whole
have our
family affair
ADHD
here.
baby. Yes. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this experience I had last week.
Yeah,
That was quite interesting.
please.
And I'm pretty sure I didn't sign anything saying I couldn't talk about it, but it
We won't
was
tell anyone.
it was marketed to me. I'm not going to say where it was,
Okay.
but what I'm going to say is that it was marketed as like a professional development for teachers and parents, but it was like more geared towards parents with neurodivergent children. And so I got very excited because I was like, oh, this is more information, more things for me to learn.
Yeah.
And when I showed up, it was at a chiropractic office.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I said, I'm going to go in with an open mind, and it was just, I don't know if it was like just fear tactics on parents or if it was actually true, the information, but it didn't feel like it was
Were they
true.
talking about vagal nerve stuff?
Yeah, and they said that basically, like, because of birth traumas, because of C-sections, there are a lot of birth traumas, and because there's misalignment in the spine, it can lead to basically connections not happening in the brain accurately, like typically. And these things are possible ways that children can develop neurodivergencies. They advocated for like not medicating, which blew my
Oh
mind.
no.
And because me having ADHD, medication saved my life.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
so I'm a big advocate for that gold standard. But they said like there was no research, and I was like, there's 40 years of peer-reviewed research, at least from one doctor alone, Dr. David Bartlett. They wouldn't let me speak or anything, but
Of course they didn't let you speak.
yeah, it just felt like it's not true, right? Like you can't
No.
alleviate symptoms of autism or ADHD just by getting bubbles cracked in your back, can you?
No, you cannot. You cannot. A lot of what chiropractors, and by the way, this is not all chiropractors that kind of talk on this. I see some really good chiropractors online on TikTok that give a really good reality check of a lot of the really good benefits that chiropractors can have on people, which can come to temporary pain relief, working through different injuries and things like that absolutely are amazing for chiropractors. But some of these concerns, they take a little part of research that is a little bit true, and then they take a leap of a mile to get to the treatment that they are recommending. And so a lot of what I've heard from chiropractors are this theory around the vagal nerve, where they say within the vagal nerve, there is your fight and flight response. And a lot of kids with autism have heightened fight or flight. And so if they can adjust the body and it impacts the vagal nerve, it impacts the fight or flight response. This is not standard treatment. It is not. This is considered fringe, absolutely fringe, especially if they're telling you in any time that they're like, this is what doctors don't want you to know. And that's what it sounds like to me, where they're like, don't listen to your doctor about medication. Like, we are the ones who really know what we're talking about. That's always a red flag, you guys. If you are hearing information from someone and they're telling you not to listen to a doctor or a pediatrician, and that what they are promoting that you have to pay for on a regular basis is what's going to help, and they're giving false hope, they are taking advantage of you. They're fear-mongering. They are predatory marketing is what I call it. This is predatory marketing, you guys. And the moment you have a child with autism, you are going to be victims of predatory marketing all over the place. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, it was me. I was interrupting.
You're fine.
I'm an expert at interrupting. So my thing is, too, like it was showing a C-section video, but it looked like malpractice, the video we were seeing. And when I went home, I looked up more C-section videos, and it's actually very gentle. Like the baby guides itself out. In the video we saw in the class, the doctor was like pulling the baby out by its head, and its body was squirming. And so I felt like the video was kind of disingenuous. And but also they were marketing that like chiropractic can actually resolve the social issues we find in autism, the social challenges. That the kids will be more sociable, that they'll start to understand more, see more. And so I was, and when you're a parent like me and you're just like looking for anything, you're like, sign me up. I'm ready. I'm doing as much research as I can, but I'm looking at everything outside too.
Yeah.
I think, but I mean, again, if this could do that much, it would be the gold standard.
They always take a little bit and then they push it a mile. So there is a little bit of truth to what they say. There is a very, very slight increased chance of autism when you are born through a C-section. Now, it is not the trauma, like the leap comes when they start saying it's from the trauma of a C-section. What most scientists believe is that it's the co-occurring or the underlying cause of what caused that C-section to be necessary, why they experience that slight increase. And so it might be something like, they during the birth, there was oxygen that was that the brain was deprived of, and they had to have a C-section. Or it could be an infection that the mother had, which is a known environmental risk factor. All of these are extremely, extremely small risk factors, especially when you look at 80 to 90% of the cause of autism to be around genetics and hereditary through genetics. So I appreciate you sharing all of that. Do you have any other thoughts that you'd like to share with the group before we move on to the next person?
Oh no, I've been dying to talk to you about this.
I am so glad that you came up. I really am. That makes me so mad. It is the perfect example of predatory marketing. Especially when you look at it of getting you in a room, or if it was online, I don't know, but and really selling you this fear. And I bet you walked away from that feeling like, I'm a bad mother if I don't give my child every chance at being successful. And
I walked away feeling like I felt bad for the people that ran to the counter.
Yeah.
I feel bad for those people. I didn't feel like a bad mother. I said, you know what? If this is true information, then I can always go back. I don't mind spending extra money.
Yes.
They took money off and they were like, for $57 tonight alone.
No.
They said
they even put in sales tactics into it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they said procrastination is the worst thing for your health. Make an appointment tonight.
It's always trying to rush you. Okay, if someone is trying to sell you something and they're trying to rush you to do it, if you notice, there's also this trend with these other therapies, getting diagnosed, ABA therapy, occupational therapy, usually there's a wait list to get those services. Now, if a lot of times the more scam approaches are a little bit more, rush. You have to do this right now, buy it right now, or else you're never going to be able to. It reminds me of one time we were looking at getting solar at our house, and the solar salesman, they bid us an extreme amount. One day we had someone bid us like $20,000, which was low for a full solar system installed in your house. And then this group came in and pitched us $60,000 that it would cost. And the guy said, look, I have the contract ready. This is our first time meeting with him. And he's like, look, if you sign it committing to pay $60,000, I've never done this before. And he reaches in his pocket and pulls out an envelope and says, I have $500 in cash. If you sign this today, I will give you $500. Like, no, like we don't make decisions quickly like that. He's like, okay, I've really never done this before. And he reaches in his pocket and pulls out another envelope and says, I have another envelope full of $500 in cash. And if you sign right now, you can get this envelope full of cash. And I'm like, okay, getting $1,000 does not justify making a $60,000 purchase when I have another quote for $20,000. But anyway, you'll see that with these with more of this predatory marketing of like, oh yes, you have to sign up now. Only tonight you get $50 off. Thank you so much for sharing that. Any other thoughts?
No, thank you for choosing me to come up. You have a great day, and I really enjoy listening to your program. It's
Thank you
been
so
very
much.
informative and helpful. I built my village today.
Oh, you did.
Yeah. I'm starting a group at school.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
yeah.
Wow, good job. Oh my
Mhm.
goodness. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, you too. Have a good one. What a great parent. What a great parent. I love these conversations, you guys. Let me look over at the YT that I've been ignoring a little bit. Lexi says, I'm exhausted. Bedtime wasn't a 100% win last night. I've been up since 5 a.m. Oh, Lexi, I'm so sorry. You had a good experience with the new light one night, and it's not a perfect solution here. So, she also says, my mom just went to one of those chiropractor things in Cincinnati. It sounded nuts, and I'm glad I didn't go. Sounds like malarkey. Yeah, it's a little wild, you guys. There's some false claims out there, and yeah. What other questions do you guys have? We have some people in the queue that I'll bring up. We have a lot of people in the queue that I can bring up. I'm curious if anyone in the chat, if you guys have questions, feel free to come up. Love to talk to you guys. And you know what? Let me do this first, and then I'll let you guys. I'll pick someone else to come up here. I want to know who I have in the comments. Put 1 in the chat if you're an autism parent. Put 2 in the chat if you have autism. Or put 3 in the chat if you are just an interested party listening or learning. So 1, 2, or 3. Parent, autism parent, or suspected autism parent. If you have autism or suspected autism, or you're just here to learn. Put it in the chat. Let's see who we got here. Okay, we got a lot of everyone. A lot of everyone. Mostly 1 and 2s, some 3s. Thank you guys for being here. Let me go ahead and bring up this next person. Let's see who we can have a conversation with. Maddie, let me go ahead and get you loaded in here. Let's see if that works. Hey, Maddie, how are you doing? Oh, looks like she didn't want to have a conversation. That's okay. They didn't want to load either. You guys, we got more people. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. All right. Yeah, it's not wanting to load some of these people in here. Just give it a minute. We'll get it loaded. Go ahead and be tapping that screen, everybody, while we're waiting. While you're bored waiting here for people to load in, you guys can be tapping on that screen and gets it out to more people. How can I get insurance to pay for a protective helmet when it was denied? It's for headbanging. Okay, you guys, tell me. Put yes in the chat if insurance has ever denied something for your child with autism. Put yes in the chat. And I want to tell you a little secret about this. Insurance denies you, fully expecting you to not question their denial. They will tell you that your ABA is denied. They're going to tell you that your therapy is denied. They're going to tell you that the helmet is denied, that your AAC is denied. And what they're hoping is that you do not question them. But when you do question them, when you do refuse to take no for an answer, they know that legally they have to provide the coverage according to the law and according to their policies. And so you often find after 1 or 2 fighting back on the denials that they will be able to end up accepting and paying for what you need them to pay for. All right, Monty, let me see if I can get Monty loaded in. We got some other people though too. Let's see if we can get some people loaded in. Monty, hello, where are you calling in from?
Hi, I'm from Indiana.
You're from Indiana. Well, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Are you an autism parent, or how are you connected to all this?
I am. I have a 20-year-old neurotypical son, and I have a 6-year-old autistic son.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Yeah.
What can I do for you today? You hanging in there? You doing okay with everything?
Yeah, something that like I don't really, I guess, know how to navigate. He was nonverbal until about 4.5. He's been in ABA therapy, which has been a lifesaver. He's been potty trained. He's learned how to talk. Most of his talking though is he does a lot of
Echolalia.
echolalia,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's a lot of phrases. So they are cutting him off in July and putting him in public school, and I'm terrified because he can't. I mean, for example, he got hurt at school last week, and he couldn't tell me what happened. He just says he's fine.
Oh
So
my
it's like
gosh.
public school is terrifying to me,
Oh yeah.
and so I'm battling that right now.
Did you say
And
that
then
ABA is cutting you off, or the insurance is? Who's cutting you
the
off?
insurance, yeah, they're saying that he's basically maxed out and learned everything that he can with them, and that it would be a disservice to continue his
No.
therapy with them. But
Is it
at the same
Medicaid?
Yeah, but at the same
Okay.
time, they're already starting. They've already cut his hours from 40 to 30 something. So it was probably just a matter of time anyway before they would, you
You
know, pull the plug
you
on
probably
that.
have heard things about Indiana Medicaid and ABA. There is
Hmm.
there is some stuff going on there.
Yeah,
Um,
I wrote the governor. I've done it. It's sad. It's really sad.
well, there's some terrible people that have done some awful things with
Hmm.
ABA. Some providers that kind of ruined it, and there was potential fraud, and the system was terrible. I'm pretty sure it was Indiana. Wasn't
Oh
it Indiana
wow.
where there were some providers who the way Medicaid was set up was that they would pay 25% of whatever you billed them. And so there were companies like billing them thousands of dollars per hour and getting paid like $800 an hour to do ABA therapy by Medicaid. And
Oh my
I
goodness. I
mean,
didn't hear about that.
oh, it was there was a bunch of fraud going on. And so now Medicaid is looking at ABA in Indiana like crazy. I mean, they're doing that
Oh, okay.
everywhere, but especially Indiana. Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense because they're because we appealed it, and while we appealed it, they were continuing his 40 hours, assuming that we were going to win the appeal. But their rebuttal was that he's not that autistic, I guess, to stay for 40 hours, which is crazy because he literally cannot tell you, his own thoughts. It's a lot of like
Wow.
phrases from shows and stuff. So it's a little scary to navigate with him going to public school because I'm not going to be there. Neither are the therapists. Um, but my real question for wanting to come up, I'm new to your channel, so
Yeah.
hi.
Hello. Thank you for being
um,
here.
yeah. So the thing that I really struggle with navigating, and I don't really know how to talk to anybody about, is he was a C-section birth, so I was listening to that earlier.
Yeah.
His father also passed when he was about 1.5,
Oh
shortly
my
after I
gosh.
noticed something was different with him. And
What?
what yeah, and what I'm
I am
navigating
so
with this,
sorry.
thank you. It's been really difficult because when he was nonverbal, I think he saw him. I mean, call me crazy, but like you'd have to see it to know what I was talking about. But like it was as if he could see his dad and he was around him. You know what I mean?
Oh my
Once he started
gosh.
talking, that it's almost like that veil kind of like thinned out and he couldn't anymore. But now he's almost getting to the anger part of grief because we go in public and almost every man he'll walk up to and just say daddy, and it's heartbreaking. I don't know
Oh
what to do with it. I don't know what
gosh.
to do with it. And so I don't know how to explain to him, um, you know, dad's not coming through that door. You know what I mean? And the guy at the store is not your dad. And like, I don't know what to do. And I don't know. And then I even had the last doctor I talked to said, you need to get him in therapy. And I'm like, he doesn't, how am I supposed to get him in therapy? You know what I mean? He doesn't,
He
what's he going to
doesn't talk.
say?
He needs to be able to communicate to benefit from
Yeah.
therapy. Look, this, first of all, I want to say
Too
that
much for the show. I'm sorry.
what's that?
Too much for the show. I'm sorry.
No, 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 no. This is what we do here. I mean, we laugh together, we cry together. This is exactly what this show is for. Look, I am so sorry for that loss, and uh, my thought on this is, and this is not coming from the science background of me, but from the religious background and believing part of me that like I 100% believe you when you say that that's who he was seeing and that's who was supporting him, and that whole veil is thinning thing. Like I am right there with you. Like what a beautiful thing. And um, I will say though that this perceived grief that he is going through of calling everyone dad. I believe this is harder for you than it is for him.
Most definitely.
And it's not him that needs to get the care and the therapy and the support with regards to that. Have you seen someone? Are you in therapy right now?
I am.
Good. I am too, by the way, just so we're getting all personal with everyone. It's a level the playing field here, but your child lost his father at a very, very young age. And I'm not saying that doesn't have a real impact. It does, but it's not the same as like the grief that you are experiencing with it. And it breaks your heart to see him call other dads dad, or other men dad, when he should be calling his own father that, and his own father should be right there with him, and he's not. So that is harder for you than it is for him. And I think it's important for you to recognize that. And no, I would not put him in therapy. If he can't communicate, talk therapy, mental health therapy is not going to do much good for him. I will say that you keep on fighting this Medicaid thing. I am so frustrated with the world thinking that ABA is fraud. Just because a few bad apples were out there doing bad things, and now it's having real impacts for families like yours, that's likely going to result in your child having to be in a situation, a setting that is not ideal for them. I know that Indiana, I believe, also put in a rule that they limit lifetime maximum benefits. Did you guys pass that already? Is that what this is, the 3-year benefit?
I'm not sure. So that would be the other, I guess a part 2 to that question that I had. The first question. Oh, I didn't mean to get so emotional and dark. I really just thought maybe somebody has been through that before and were like, hey, this is what so-and-so, was saying. I don't know. But also he gets survivor benefits from his dad, and then I work. And so I think that I make too much to receive the disability benefits for him. And then I heard in the chat that's how you get that ABLE account. And so I guess I wanted to confirm that I could still do the ABLE account if I, quote unquote, make too much. Because let's be honest, I don't make too much.
There's no income requirements for the ABLE account. And I would absolutely be doing that. The ABLE account is going to be there for their whole life. And you can spend it on anything for the care and well-being of a person with disabilities, all living expenses. And so it's a great approach if you're looking for a method to shelter from some potential tax benefits as well as future planning. That ABLE account is great.
Okay,
Absolutely.
and you just get a hold of your bank?
So each state does it differently. Let's find out Indiana's ABLE account. There's a separate company that runs it for every single state. Indiana ABLE account. ABLE, let's see here. Oh my goodness, Payne, thank you so much for the Night Star. That was really cool. Let's see here. Is it Invest Able? There we go. Yep, it's called Invest Able Indiana.
Invest. Okay, thank you so much.
If you go to savewithable.com, it looks like that is the spot that is the official ABLE account. Yes.
Save with Able.
Savewithable.com. Now, for those in the chat, this is only for Indiana. Every state has a separate ABLE account that implements it, a separate company that implements it. So you don't need to go through that. Ra is in the comments. She's always here. She has some really great takes. She's also in Indiana and might have some insight for you.
Awesome. I sent her a message and told her to message me. Yeah, that's awesome.
I love that.
Well, thank you for letting me come up and cry a little. I'm sorry. I don't know what I thought I was going to ask, I guess, but I
it
appreciate
broke my heart to hear you. And
it's been so hard to navigate, honestly.
You're,
Yeah,
you have 2 kids. Is that right?
I do. One's grown and he's,
This isn't something that you were supposed to handle alone. I'm sorry.
Hey, you guys enjoy. I'm gonna keep listening. My son's in the bath, so you guys.
Please do.
I'll be right here,
Monty. Please do.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Monty. And just know we're part of your village too. The rule is you're allowed to come up and cry, but what that means is you're part of this village now. I hope you know that, Monty. You're part of this village whether you like it or not. So you got to be coming on these lives. You also need to join our Discord or our Facebook group that we have for after the lives to continue the support and conversations, you guys. All right, you guys. We're going to continue to have some of these conversations. Let's go ahead and see where we're at with things. All right. Oh, yeah. Did you say you want to give some info on Able accounts? Did you want to come up and talk about it? Is that what you're saying? Yeah. If you want to, you can. That'd be great. I think people love hearing about the Able accounts. If you have insight that I don't have, I'd love to hear it. Yeah, come on up. Yeah, how have you been? It's good to talk to you.
I am doing awesome. Thank you.
Oh, good.
So it's just ironic. I'm currently transferring 529 education funds to the ABLE account.
Oh.
So I have some fresh off the press info for those asking in the chat. What is the point of an ABLE account?
Yes.
The quick version
Tell us.
for me, the quick version for me is that high functioning 8-year-old, I have no idea whether or not he's going to use 529 funds, which are restricted to education purposes. I ran into not being able to use them for my daughter, who's now 29, because they wouldn't use them for disability purposes, only for college education.
Wow.
So took those funds years later and transferred it into her son's account, who I adopted. So now he has these same funds with no idea whether he's going to be able to use them.
Yeah.
So I spoke with Fidelity Investments, is who I'm with. I spoke with their advisors, and they explained that the ABLE account is a freer use account. It can be as I have to supply the diagnosis that he is disabled. It doesn't matter whether he gets SSI or not. The criteria is simply that he has the diagnosis or government acknowledgement. It doesn't matter which route, just a confirmation. Now, here's what people need to understand before I am going to do it, but you can only, the federal government so it's not a state thing, the federal government just made the allowance, $20,000 a year can go into that fund. However, when you get to 100,000, that would possibly, state by state, affect any Medicare, Medicaid benefits or SSI.
Oh.
So there is a $100,000 cap, and this is all just current day. So obviously everything's subject to change.
It's going to change in 20 years.
The other interesting thing is, and I have the weird dynamic of being 61. So am I going to be here when he's 18? I don't know. I hope so. I'm trying really hard.
Yeah.
But the fund actually goes in his name. So when he hits 18, he has full access to those funds unless I designate a rep payee or a trustee of some kind should the need arise.
Yes.
So, but the bottom line is there's a lot more freedom to use those funds for whether maybe he'd be in a group home. Maybe he would have other needs that the 529 would not allow. So
2 questions, Yaya. The first is can you use the ABLE account then for educational expenses?
Yes,
okay.
That's the clincher. It's wider spread. So it can be used for education. It can be used for disability related services. It can be used for a variety of things. The qualifier is to open it. Once you open the account, you have a wide variety of uses, and you're not as restricted as a 529 education fund.
Got it. And the second question is there are you able to transfer from a 529 into the ABLE account? Are there ways to
There's
be
no
able to
tax
do that?
ramification. It's easy in my sense because I'm sticking under the umbrella of Fidelity Investments.
Yeah.
So the 529 is in that home of Fidelity, and I'm opening the ABLE. The ABLE was opened under Fidelity. So the transfer is seamless, and there's no penalty or tax ramification. It's still the same protected fund in that sense.
Got it. And so you have to be mindful there could be some tax implications there if you do transfer from 529 to ABLE account. But if you're able, it sounds like, is there any reason that you know of or someone in the chat knows of that if you're picking between a 529 and an ABLE account that you wouldn't just do an ABLE account? Is there any argument at all to keep it in the 529?
I can't imagine there would be.
Yeah.
I'm
not hearing
the other
any.
thing is, when I set up the ABLE account, it also gave, I want to say, a menu of 5 or 6 different options on how you want those monies to work for you. I ended up, because I have a pretty significant 529 account for him, and I didn't want to reach that 100,000 just by, the investments making too much money. I just made it a strict money market account.
Yes.
But you can do a conservative 20%. You can do a riskier 60%. You can
invest
play with it in a lot of different ways, right?
Yeah.
So I thought, I didn't find that with the 529s that there were a lot of options. It was just basically an investment account. But with the ABLE, to me, hands down, was the no-brainer. I think they just didn't exist. The ABLE accounts didn't exist back when my daughter's 529 was started. That was 30 years ago.
Let me give a quick breakdown for people just kind of listening in about what we're talking about. So the ABLE account is a bank account, a savings account that you are able to have for a person who has disabilities. Now, what is the benefit of it over a regular bank account? Well, there are tax benefits, and then there are also protections for Social Security benefits. And so right now, to get Social Security income, you cannot have assets, what is it, over $2,000 or $3,000? And what this does is it makes it so any money that is in that ABLE account does not count towards those assets. And so that way, if your child needs ongoing care and support when they're an adult, they can have money in a savings account that they can spend on living expenses, on education, on just about anything that's for them as a person with disabilities. And they can still be getting the state benefits that are limited if you have too much money saved up. And so the 529 that we're talking about is a college savings account that you can do for anybody. And so a lot of parents, I have one for each of my kids. I contribute, it's not a ton. I think I do like $40 a month or something per kid that I do. I have 4 kids. And we, invest those. And now it's making me think, if you can spend an ABLE account, I have 2 kids with autism. I don't know if they're going to go to college. I think the statistics say about 40% of kids who are diagnosed with autism do end up going to college. And so there's a really good chance that, that's some part of planning for your child's future. But the ABLE account can be spent on college expenses as well as other things, whereas the 529 has some of those same benefits as the ABLE account, but can only be used for college. So,
and I'll just quickly add that when my daughter, we had placed her in independent living, transitional independent living for autistic kids. It was private pay, not covered by insurance, and 529 rejected covering that cost. So it really is strictly for college. Now, for any of your chat people that are from the state of Florida, if their child was adopted through DCF or part of the DCF program, they're already guaranteed through the adoption to have state college paid for. So again, it made it all more logical for me to go to an ABLE account for any of the services and just the freedom of accessing that money. Again, be mindful that he's not the beneficiary. He is the actual account owner. So he can access that at 18 there are penalties for using the funds out of the criteria they put forth, but it's a pretty wide variety.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
This was amazing. You have some great insight here. And
well, thank you.
I've been
Thanks for
meaning to
having
talk
me
about
up.
this
I was
more.
trying to be quick. Yeah, I was trying to be quick because, I don't want to hog the chat, but I love talking to you, and I thank you for bringing me up.
Thank you so much, Yaya. All right. Have a good one, Yaya.
You too.
All right, you guys. Look, I need to talk about something serious with you guys right now. And I waited till the end because it most certainly is going to get a penalty on my live. And so I didn't want to penalize it at the beginning. But I just want to address something. I'm thinking of the best way to do this because I got a message yesterday that absolutely shook me. I got a private message on TikTok that was terrifying, and I want to talk about it a little bit in case there's anybody in the chat or anyone listening who may be experiencing anything similar. The stress of taking care of children with autism is immense. It has impacted and led parents to do unimaginable things. We know a couple months ago in Australia, there was that circumstance of parents who had two children with disabilities who got cut off from the care that they were getting. And it resulted in the parents doing the unthinkable and ending their children's lives and their own lives. I mean, just absolutely terrible. This is a hard thing for us to go through. But there are some of us that are going through even worse, even more. And I just want to share for a minute what someone messaged me. And again, this is most likely going to take down my live, so I apologize if it does, but we're coming to the end here anyway. And I wanted to share this. Got a message saying, "Hi, sir. I'm a mother of an autistic child. His father beats me and my child. We don't have proper food or clothes or basic things. I don't have any other place. I live peacefully with my children. We're not safe with him. I tell him not to hit us, and he says, I will hit you. Go and do whatever you want. And he says, this is my house, so get out of here. He repeatedly tells me to leave the house." I asked her where she lives, and she doesn't live in the country, in the United States. She lives in another country. I don't want to share too much personal info. I shared personalized resources based on her location. I did some research on domestic violence and where she can receive safety. She says 2 days ago I called the police, then went to the police station and filed a case against him. And then talked about how the shelter room didn't work out for her to be able to have. I don't know what I should do. If they arrest him, I'll have no food. He beats me and the little child so badly that we can't even bear the beating every day. Anyway, it went on for a while of back and forth, trying to point her in the direction of some resources. And it reminded me, I went and did some research, and I read that 1 in 4 women are subject to domestic violence. And I couldn't find any statistics on whether that's intensified or not when having a child with disabilities, but absolutely it makes that whole situation harder and a parent more stuck if they do have a child with autism. And I want you all to know that if you are in any situation, I want you to know that it's not normal at all for a man to lay hands on their spouse or on the child. It's not normal. It is not safe. And if that's going on in your life, you need to seek safety. There are resources. Especially in the United States. There are resources. It is disgusting. It breaks my heart. But I want you to know that we as a village, we're here for each other. If you need to get advice, if you need to talk to each other, we're a safe place. We obviously are not a place that we can hand out resources to people. We're not a DV nonprofit society, but the emotional support that goes through this and handling things with people with disabilities, we're here. I just wanted to share this, you guys. It was a hard message to receive, and just a reality check of what some people might be living right now and what their reality is. Let me just tell you guys, I am ending the live, but I want y'all to know that we are part of your village. If you have joined this live, welcome to the village, you guys. We go live every day. We have conversations. This is a safe place. I know I didn't get to everybody. Please come back. Wilma, I can't bring you up today. But you can come up tomorrow or request up. I go live every day. And you can join our Discord or our Facebook and ask the questions there and be able to get more input. Please hit me a follow. The follow button's right there if you don't know. And it will make sure that you can see the live next time that we go live. And yeah, you guys, we also have other people here that have local Facebook and different groups and stuff. I appreciate all the people sharing resources. Gab, we go live at about noon Eastern time every day. Today on Sundays, it's a little bit later in the day, but it's noon Eastern time. And Destiny has a good point. If there's not a Facebook group in your area, you need to start one. That's what Destiny did. So, but we enjoy doing these lives. We enjoy the Facebook group. We enjoy the Discord chat. Thank you all for being here. Have a wonderful Sunday, you guys. Go and enjoy the time with your family. Thank you all. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you guys later.